Hey all, Bree from the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I have got a gift for you this holiday season. If you love the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I mean love the No Guilt Mom podcast, then tell us about it. Leave us a review, and you can be entered to win a No Guilt Mom gift card. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and then simply go to noguiltmom.com/review to enter our giveaway for a free No Guilt Mom gift card, simply for telling us what you think about the podcast. It is amazing. But don't delay. Get right on this, as we're going to be giving away that No Guilt Mom gift card on December 21st. So get right on over and visit noguiltmom.com/review.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. It is Joanne here, and I'm here with another No Guilt Mom win from one of our Balance members, Edith. And Edith has been with us for quite a while. And the thing that she's sharing with you today is if you have a massive to-do list, I'm talking massive, like you need to check things off and they're all different things, caring for your family, caring for your partner, maybe caring for parents, and the overwhelm is just crushing you. Edith has a few tips on how she managed her overwhelm and how it's leading her to be calmer and happier. So I know that you're going to get a lot out of Edith's story. So welcome to the podcast, Edith.
Hi, I'm actually excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad because you have so much to share with people. So can you take everybody back as to how were you feeling in terms of the overwhelm of your to-do list and what did that look like?
So it was constant. I mean, daily 24/7. And even objectively, it was a lot, or it still is a lot. My husband is working as a social worker, but he also has another freelance job project. I'm working part-time, but I'm also studying for a master's degree. I have one kid who needs extra attendance for academic stuff, and one kid who needs extra attendance for emotional regulation. And I have a mother who had a stroke last year, which means that our childcare got worse, our situation got worse, and it was something on top to take care of and handle, and even brought more flexibility to it. And I was really resentful towards my husband, really a lot.
And I think that's really common for us as women to become resentful towards our partners when we have so much on us.
And I remember that this was one of the first things that I asked one of the other women, like, you are saying that in a neutral or even warm tone towards your spouse. How do you do that? And I realized that this other woman was still able to and be empathetic, where I was that angry, non-stop angry.
Yeah.
And constant feeling of unfair, too much, and I'm drowning.
And I remember you coming into balance with this feeling, and you could just tell in your whole demeanor, like so much was on you and you had to do so much. And I don't think that any of that weight has really been taken off of you based on how, like, we talked before we started this interview and you listed your to-do list today, and it was massive, Edith. It was massive. So what have you started doing that helped you let go of some of that anger and resentment?
I think the first step for me was time blocking and the coaching sessions. So especially since we're short on childcare, it was the best thing ever to have this weekly, in my part, evening session where I can put the kids to bed and join a coaching session from home. I talked to another friend who is in a self-help Facebook group, but it's without moderation. And I told her, no, that's the big difference, that there we have Bree and Joanne, and they are trained people. So it's not just peers talking to each other, but peers being accompanied by a professional. First, I didn't get the time blocking thing. I was like, why do I need to get together with other people to do my calendar? I mean, come on, I'm doing it all the time. But the key is the prioritization.
Yes.
To find the priorities for the week, for the month, for the day. And I really love the journals. I'm a religious believer of the journal.
Well,
so even if I don't have the journals with me, I'm still taking the categories with me.
So I want to get more into the journals. For people who are listening and they're like, what is time blocking? Time blocking is a practice that we do in Balance where you commit to a goal for the week. You decide this goal above everything is going to help me feel more calm, happier. If I get this done, this is wonderful. And then it's actually plotting that time that you spend for that goal on your calendar so that you don't feel so overwhelmed during the week. And I love that it helped you.
And I have to add, to time blocking, you get 4 categories of priorities. So it's not just that you find out what is most important to you. The next one is that you decide what just has to get done. But then you also, well, I color them, the things that don't necessarily have to get done without the world going down under. And then the 4th one, what can you pass on to somebody else? What can you delegate? And we usually have a competition on finding at least 1 or 2 things in the group, since it's the hardest category. And that was the turning point for me, that I suddenly felt like accomplishing something and not just failing each day with these massive things to do that never had an end and never were able to complete. So it gave me a feeling of success and of wins. And that's the connection to the journals, where in the morning I sit down and I have the categories. What are my main things that I want to get done? What am I looking forward to? And sometimes I'm just writing, oh, I'm looking forward for the feeling of, yes, done. Or I'm looking forward to go to bed in the evening. I mean, it doesn't have to be huge things. And then in the evening, or I combine it with the morning, I count the wins of the last day. And there I have some therapy. I decide I have 2 pieces of wins, like the ones that are given as a present and the ones that you have worked towards.
I love that you put it into 2 categories like that, because you do get it. Like, you get the surprise wins that are like a present. You didn't expect them coming. You didn't see them coming, but they're great nonetheless. And then you do get those wins that you're like, I put that on my forecasted wins for the day. And look at that. I get to like have it as a win in the evening. I love how you break it up like that.
And I needed to add the ones that are given as a present, because I have this mindset, you have to work hard for everything.
Oh, yes. And there are those things that are just gifts that are given to you.
Yes.
For sure. So the journals helped and the time blocking helped. How are you feeling now, Edith, now that you have these things in place, especially when it comes to that anger and resentment that you are feeling towards your partner?
I have to add that we're also in couples therapy, like once every 2 months at the moment. And I have been diagnosed for depression. I also go to normal therapy.
Therapy is a wonderful thing.
So suddenly I feel I have reached a period of harvest. So I don't get up in the morning and have to drag myself out of bed. That's really great. And I have had so many situations by now where I keep cool, where otherwise I would have shouted, screamed, ran off. Mm-hmm. And that adds to feeling positive about myself.
I've seen so many changes in you, Edith, since you joined. I mean, you could see the stress in your face when I first met you. And now you're like in front of me. And in most coaching calls now you're in front of me and you're smiling and you're lighter and you're happier. And that's a really cool thing to see. You've worked really hard.
Yes, I think so. I worked really hard. That might be the last resentment that I have, that my husband wants to have the same results as me. But I say, yeah, well, I put in work.
Exactly.
I put in hard work.
Yeah, you're like the model for how it can be done and it can be accomplished. It didn't just come to you. You worked for it. You got some presents along the way, though, as you note in your journal.
And I really like the way the coaching sessions are led. I just told my therapist last week that now that I've been through with you and that I've listened so many times to the steps, I start being able to do it with me, myself. So I know which steps to take to get me out of a rut.
Yes. And that's like our aim in balance, that I believe is what good coaching is, where first the coach takes the lead, but it's all about teaching you how to do it for yourself as well, so that you don't need the coach long term, but it internalizes. And Edith, I love hearing your story. I love seeing you each time you come to coaching calls. And this has been so interesting because I've gotten to learn some other things about you in this interview as well. So thank you for coming on the podcast. It was a lot of fun. So if you right now have an overwhelming to-do list, know that there are steps to take to give yourself a little bit of self-care, as well as prioritizing and seeing what you need to do versus what you can let drop. And also, if you're interested in learning more about balance, I have a link in the show notes, but you can also check out balance at noguiltmom.com/balance. And that is the end of this No Guilt Mom Win. Remember, the best mom is a happy mom. I'll talk to you later.
Are you looking for something to listen to with your whole family? Then check out 6 Minutes, produced and created by Gen Z Media. With over 200 twisty, cliffhanger-filled episodes, 6 Minutes tells the story of 11-year-old Holiday, who is pulled from the icy waters with no memory of who she is or where she came from.
3 years ago, Brinley Pasternak helped the Anders family uncover the truth about Holiday's past. Now she'll need them to help her find the truth about hers. In 6 Minutes Out of Time, the long-awaited sequel, Cyrus Anders is found unconscious near the mysterious Elixir Academy in Florida, and Brinley learns the school may have a shocking connection to her missing mother.
Dive in now and get the most downloaded family audio adventure in history. Follow 6 Minutes wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free with the GZM family subscription.